Welcome to the Star Corner.
Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another dope and amazing episode of the Star Corner with myself, Tori Kenny. And with me today, I have none other than viral sensation, international choreographer of the year, dancer, and entrepreneur, none other than Lyrical Deezy. How you doing today, Deezy?
Let's go. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for having me on this platform. I hope you guys are doing well, and I really appreciate the invitation. So I'm so excited to connect with you today. Let's go.
This invitation has taken long. People don't even know. You know how many times I tried to get you on the show? I tried like 3 times. You're a busy man, yo.
I know it's been a minute, so I do apologize for that. Sometimes I just lose track of like my either my DMs or my mail. So, but I'm glad we can finally make it happen right now.
Awesome, man. So let's get to the beginning of everything before the accolades, before everything that's happening now, the success, that you've been having right now. Where did it all start? Where did the passion for dancing start? What made you want to pursue this as a career?
Yep. So for me, the passion of dance started all the way back in primary school. I think there were so many inspirations at the time, but just to name a few, I would definitely Michael Jackson. I think many dancers would say like Michael Jackson was that guy. So definitely inspiration came from MJ, and then of course the movie You Got Served as well. I think that era of dance was so special and unique. So yeah, that movie just like took us all by storm, and I think the just the love for hip hop dance and hip hop culture started there, and I think that's where the passion for dance ignited. So yeah, and here I am today.
Wow, man. So how did you go about learning the styles? Were you self-taught? Did you go to any studios, battles? What was it that equipped and made you the exceptional dancer that you are today?
Yeah, funny enough, I was never part of a studio before. I never had any formal training. For my entire life, I was self-taught. I used to train and session with some peers of mine, like other South African dancers, and those are the people that I where I took my inspiration from and where I could like just bounce energy off. So yeah, no formal training. I was self-taught. I think only later, like a couple of years into my dance journey, I started taking proper workshops like here and there. I traveled to Germany to do like master classes there. So that is a bit of my background in terms of training. So yeah.
Right, so you grew up in one of the areas, close to one of the areas that I lived in. So I lived in Lavendale for some time, and you grew up in Seawinds. Obviously, Seawinds, Lavendale, two very areas that are dominated by gang violence and gangsterism and all these negative things in life. What growing up in such a community, what are certain struggles that you faced? Especially certain struggles as an individual, and how has that struggles maybe affected your you wanting to pursue dance?
Yeah. Well, I lived, well, I grew up in Lavendale, Seawinds all my life, and I'm actually still living there. And I think some of the challenges I faced was, of course, you know, um, being surrounded by gang violence, substance abuse, basically everything that you don't want to pursue. So those are some of the dilemmas that I face daily, and me choosing dance like as a career, that alone is like you know unorthodox and uncommon. So it was weird to pursue something like that. I think my surroundings and the various influences like made it super hard. But I think just the conviction that I had for dance, it was past motivation that kind of like fueled my fire to wanna do dance more, pursue dance more full time. And I kind of didn't let that those influences like influence my mind. In other words, so yeah, it was a lot, like from like even me personally being a victim sometimes of either being robbed or stuff like that. And seeing this every day was so discouraging. But I mean, I just looked past it and just went for what I love. So yeah.
Wow, man. So obviously, once again, happy birthday. It was your birthday recently. Recently now just turned 29 years old. And I'm sure coming out of high school, things didn't just happen for you. So I'm quite sure that You know, obviously you weren't immediately a professional dancer. You weren't immediately able to make a career out of it. After high school, what happened? What were certain things that you did? Did you go study further? Did you have a job? How did things come together for you?
Well, I mean, I've actually never studied further, believe it or not. I think, like I said, my passion for dance started all the way in primary school and into high school as well. And I always knew I wanted to dance, whether it's performing or teaching, traveling the world, doing shows, being in theater. I kind of always knew I wanted to do that. So I kind of like just finished school and finished matric because it's the traditional thing to do. You don't want to let your parents down. And I think from then, like since grade 10, grade 11, I've been teaching dance. When I matriculated, I immediately found myself like in a job. Like I was working for the Department of Culture, Affairs and Sports, just being a dance coach at various schools. So everything happened so fast. And I ever since doing that little teaching job, I got into bigger ones and, finally went solo, opened my own dance studio, traveled around the world just to get more knowledge with dance. So yeah, there was no formal, tertiary education. I think me traveling and doing workshops, that was kind of my training or my upskilling, I would say. Yeah.
I think the very first time I saw you was about 2 years ago, and it was one of your videos that I saw. You were dancing to "Intentions" by Justin Bieber, and then you still had a tutorial. But back then,
Hey,
teaching at you were teaching at another dance studio. This was before you opened Elite Movement Dance Studio.
yeah.
While teaching at other studios, and working all over the place at these different events and stuff, what was it always a dream of yours to open your own studio, or what was it that made you decide this is my time now to open my own dance studio? And as an entrepreneur, and maybe for somebody else, especially within this country, that wants to open up their own dance studio, what kind of tips of advice can you give them?
Yeah, so I think initially it wasn't like my plan to open a dance studio. If I should be honest, like I was just chasing the dream of being a dancer and a choreographer because I knew opening up a dance studio would kind of like force me to settle down in a sense. I think it was a goal of mine maybe in the later years of my life, like when I feel like more settled down, maybe in my 30s, 40s, whatever the case may be, because I knew if I had a studio, I wouldn't be able to travel and move around that much. So I think opening a studio, it just like fell on me. Like I said, like I felt like I had enough to offer the game at that time in terms of knowledge and experience. So I was like, you know what, let me just do it. So many people have been asking for classes. Let me just open a studio. And I mean, now the studio is still running and it's doing really well. Um, so to answer your question, it wasn't like one of my main goals. It was like more for like the later years, and also just too because dance, or even just being an entrepreneur and being an artist, whether you singer, actor, dancer, it's such a crazy career to have because there's never like stable income. And I knew opening up a dance school, maybe there would be like a consistent flow of income. You know what I'm saying? But to encourage anyone out there who would like to open a dance studio, I would say, um, if you've dreamed about it, just do it. Like don't let anything hold you back. Just open it up. Just do the things. If you feel like you've been in the game long enough and you have some good things to offer, then just go for it. I would encourage you also to also not do it like prematurely. You really want to be like skilled up. You want to have gone through certain phases. You want to have been in the industry for some time before you just open up a dance studio. So make sure you get that training, get that experience in, and then open up a dance studio. But if you feel like you're ready and you're shy or you're scared about people's opinions or whatever the case might be, then just go for it. Like whatever God puts in your heart, just go for it. Yeah, let's go.
God did.
God,
I actually wanted to ask that question. I've seen in so many of your posts, you're always so grateful to God, and you're always saying, "Thank you, God, for this opportunity. God's answered my
yeah.
prayers. I've been praying so much." What is it about your faith in Him that has been so important, for your journey? How has He anchored you in this journey?
Yeah. I think if there's one thing that has been consistent, like within my journey, or like the blueprint, the thing that keeps my journey together is definitely God. For some time, a couple of years ago, I found myself, I got involved with in youth ministry for some good years. And I was a youth leader. I was also leading the dance ministry, and I've always been, in love with God and in love with God's work. And coming back to becoming a dad at the age of 16, I feel like that season and that phase was very challenging, and I couldn't have been where I am right now or have my son be healthy and successful as he is if it wasn't for God. I mean, I was still a teenager, being a dad, I had to like level up and grow up very quickly. So God was definitely like a source and a pillar during that time for me to really find balance with all the resistance that is going on within life at that period. So me and God has been like this tight, and I feel like I'm only here because of God. And I feel like the higher I go, I always gotta give recognition where it's due. Because I think God brought me to where I am right now, and I feel like God is also gonna sustain me. And because like He gave everything to me like at a certain pace, and if I drop that faith in Him, He can remove it at that same speed that He gave it to me. So I'm always trying to stay connected to God. So yeah, like literally nothing is possible like without God. So yeah.
Oh, amen, man. Your son is incredibly talented, especially at his age. I'm like, yo, I wasn't near to that level at his age. I'm still trying to build up my foundation. I realize there's many things that I need to go back and certain structure, because I think when I started dancing a bit more, I mean, obviously, like you said, you got served and that, but I think the way I did it was I used to watch the moves and just like, move my hands. This is a wave, and not focus on the detail.
Hey.
And then it's like only when I turned 16, 17, after I got the transplant and I had to get fit, um, that's when I started. I wouldn't say taking it seriously, but I just started going a bit more into it. But then obviously there was this Ayo and Tayo phase, and it was like hit the folks and do all that, and I never had a foundation.
Hey.
And now it's like, now that I'm 21, I'm like, yo, there's so much that I missed out on. Like when I see certain dancers like yourself
Yeah.
and I see battles, I'm like, yo, I really need to get my foundation right. And then I see your son that's so young, that basically has his foundation now, and he's already like excelling at such a young age, and he's dancing with you and being able to keep up with you. What what is the
Yeah.
what is the greatest thing for you? Because it's something very rare. What is the greatest thing for you about having your son alongside you on your journey?
Wow, like that's such a good question. I feel like my son is so blessed to have both his parents as dancers. His mom is actually also a pro dancer,
Uh,
as well as his dad as well. So I feel like it's just he was born into it. It's in his genes. It's in his blood. So, but besides that, he also puts in the hard work. If I must be honest, he trains with my studio. He does like 2-3 classes a week. So he does his thing, but I'm super happy and grateful to for him to do his thing. Actually, just a few weeks ago, he booked his first big commercial, and it was with Adidas. And I'm like, yo, bro, like your first job is with Adidas. Like we didn't even start out like that, and he was like the lead in the commercial. So it's so good to see, just the fruits of what we invested into him, the seeds we planted, seeing that come to life right now. So yeah, I'm super happy in that aspect. My son being recognized by different people, even signing him to an agency I belong to. So he signed with Cover Model Management, both of us. So he's doing his thing, like he's just living his best life. But like I said, both his parents are dancers, and I feel like it's just something that he loves. And we don't necessarily like force it onto him, because I feel like a lot of parents do that, like because you're a doctor, your son must just be a doctor. Like we don't force that onto him. Like we are lucky enough that he just loves dance out of his own. Like we won't say, oh, you gotta do this, or you gotta be this good, or you gotta take this class. Like he really wants to do it out of his own. So I think that is something cool about having a dance son. Yeah.
Yeah, his mother was at the competition that I was at, the Bunesekele competition, and it's only like
Yes.
recently that I found out that that was his mom, and she approached me and we were chatting, and I was like, "Yo, this is a friendly person." I had no idea how she
Yeah.
was. I was like, "This is a friendly person." When she got on the stage, yo, it was something else. When I saw her on stage, the way she was
Yeah.
and stuff, it was extremely insane. Um, Next question that I wanted to ask: you've obviously been teaching right now for quite some time, and I've seen some of your students doing well on TikTok, well on social media, and they are now teaching their own classes. What what is one thing that you, besides dancing, what is one thing about life that you try to install in your pupils, in your students that you're busy teaching? And what is the most amazing thing for you about seeing them grow up and owning their craft?
Yeah, that's such a good question once again. Well, for me, honestly, like I've always believed in like duplicating myself. So whatever skills that I've been taught that I've acquired over the years, I try to instill that into like my students as well. And besides dance, like there's so much to dance and being a teacher, being a choreographer, and being a mentor. Like if you have to have communication skills, you gotta learn how to to lead people. You gotta be a good, genuine person yourself. You gotta care for others. You gotta just whatever you do, be at the higher level at it. And those are some of the qualities that I've drilled into my students over the last few years. Hence them, being great dancers and choreographers on their own. I think it's always been my goal to let them kind of have their own identity. And I'm starting to see that slowly but surely, you know, um, being put out and come to life. So yeah, definitely just hard work, training, having people skills, being a good teacher, being a good leader, taking being humble, taking good instruction as well, because you can only lead if you have mastered being a follower as well. And I think them sticking to my side, it was bound to happen, them doing their own thing. So shout out to them. And just to mention a few of them, I want to give a shout out to Ashwin, Tyron, Taylor, Josh. Those are just some of the names that have been, dancing with me and that is now like, killing the game on their own. So shout out to them. Yeah, many more to come. Many more to come. Let's
Hey,
go.
love it, man. Um, right. Next thing before going to the one awesome question that I've had, your content has gone viral. I just looked at your YouTube channel now. It's sitting over 1 million views. On TikTok, you've had some videos blow up to millions and millions of views. Your following, and obviously, this isn't things that happen overnight. But how do you think social media has helped you in your career? And I remember you saying it, everything that you put out is organic content. So, what tips of advice would you like to give for other dancers that would like to use social media as a platform to elevate them?
Yep. Well, you literally said it like organic content, just being yourself, like pushing yourself and putting yourself online. I feel like in today's time, we find ourselves in a world and in an industry and in a society where social media plays a big role in your next level. Now, social media is not everything, but it's there. It's a tool to enhance what you do. A lot of people look down on social media and see all the negatives for what social media can be. But honestly, like the platform is there. The world and the age that we live in is moving in that technological direction. So it's either you go with the flow or you get left behind. You know what I'm saying? I was also one of those guys that was like, nah, I want to post my videos. I kind of want to be humble there, one side. You know what I'm saying? But the truth is, nobody's gonna find you if you don't have a good online presence. Nobody's gonna book you. You can be dope, you can be great at what you do, but if you're just chilling at home, not putting yourself out there, people's not gonna come and knock on your door and be like, "Yo, Tariq, like I heard you dope. I want to come book you." Nope. Like these days, like your Instagram, your Facebook, your YouTube channel is like your CV basically. Like it's been a while since I've heard somebody ask for like a physical like CD pages of what you've done. Literally, like I haven't even done that in years. I don't even think I have one, to be honest. Like I literally just get booked from what people see on Instagram and word of mouth, whatever the case may be. So social media is such a big instrument and a big tool if you really know how to utilize it. With going viral, like believe it or not, it happened overnight. I would say like the build up to it didn't happen overnight. Obviously, I've been in the game for like 15 plus years. So I've been dancing, I've been putting in the work. But that particular Silk Sonic video, like it's crazy. Like I just posted it and literally in a day it was 1 million views and it went on to like 5 million and 10 million and 20 million. So that was such a big moment for me, being recognized in that way, having so many famous people follow me and repost the video like it was crazy, and my following just went, up from there. So I encourage people like you never know when that moment is gonna come. Like just push. And the crazy thing, I didn't have to conform to what other people are doing, like up on the TikTok challenge, and no disrespect to people who are doing that, because you should be doing that. You should be engaging like in those things, because social media is a community. Like you have to engage and take part. But for me, my perspective at the time, I was like, I didn't necessarily want to do that. I just wanted to like just push myself. And all I did was post an old video that was on Instagram onto TikTok. Nothing special, nothing different, and people just received it well. So just to end off on that, like, yeah, just push you, do organic stuff. Don't do stuff for likes or what you think other people would like. Do content that that's good for you and for your heart. You know what I'm saying? Because as soon as you're gonna try and please people and to create content based on their perspective, you're not gonna enjoy it. So you might as well just do what you love. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
100%, man.
yeah.
Oh yeah, this is my next question. You said there was so many famous people following you. Who was like the one person that followed you that you were like freaking out afterwards? Like, what was the one? Like, what?
Yeah, like there's so many, to be honest. Like I can't even choose one. But to mention like maybe two or three, I would say one of them is Anthony Anderson. He's the lead guy from Blackish. He reposted me and he followed me, and I was like just blown away. And also Nia Long. I'm sure you guys know Nia Long from Big Mama's House. So it was cool to see. And to this day, she still comments on my videos, so that's so unreal. And also Kev on stage, he's another like comedian as well. They're all verified pages. So I was like, what? And people like texted me like, yo, did you see they reposted your video? I was like, no, let me go see. So that was like really such a cool experience. And it's good to still have that connection, because I thought, yo, maybe it's just like once off that they're gonna like me and never again. But I would still see the notifications and stuff. So that's really cool.
And
Yeah.
did you say there's a rumor that Bruno Mars saw that video?
Ooh. I think so. I think so. Like people have been texting me about that, especially on Twitter, because I saw a repost on Twitter as well, and TikTok as well. And obviously, people has been blowing him up, like in my comments, just tagging him and Anderson and it's Silk Sonic. So I feel like it has reached him. People DM me, people from USA DM me to say they saw it, but I haven't yet gotten that official text from him. Like, yo, I saw it. Pull up. I'm gonna fly you out. I'm still waiting for that.
I'm sure that's gonna happen, man. Speaking now about getting
Yes,
DMs
sir.
from overseas, um, not recently, I think about last year, and then now recently you went again. You became an international choreographer. How does it feel coming
Yeah.
from South Africa specifically, coming from Sea Winds and going overseas and teaching overseas? How was the vibe there? Was there any challenges? Because obviously I saw the language barrier. This guy was like speaking in German, and you were just sitting there like,
Yeah. Yeah, like firstly, wow, I was blown away. It's still, unreal to me. But the feeling is amazing just to, because I'm not just representing myself, I'm representing people that are connected to me, I'm representing the area that I come from. So for a colored kid like me that, was a nobody, was like the black sheep, to have achieved that and have gone overseas, all expenses paid, being on the lineup with some of the world's best teachers was like mind blowing. So yeah, my first international dance camp was in Greece. I think that was in March earlier this year. That was amazing. I had a bit of a challenge like with the flight, because we my connecting flight from Doha to Greece got delayed like by a whole 24 hours. So I missed out like a few days of the event, but I eventually got to Greece and taught my class. There was like close to 1,000 students in my class. I was like, don't even lie. So that was like mind blowing, teaching on the stage with a ear mic, and so professional and cool. Like that was like a really dope feeling. So Greece was amazing. Definitely going back there. I think in March or April next year. So can't wait to be back with them as well. And after that, I went to the Union Island because I won choreographer of the year. Shout out to Global Dance Supreme for that. I got to teach there as well. And I just got back from Italy and Austria also. Austria was amazing, sharing with the dance community there. Shout out to Sammy for having me and the summer dance camp. But one thing that I've done, like you mentioned, the language barrier, I told myself when I travel again, I'm gonna force myself to learn the local language, because I'm like, I'm not gonna be excluded like this, because there's so many valuable moments that you miss out on. There will be some people like that will interpret for me. But I feel like I want to learn. I don't know, maybe German, maybe French. We'll see. We'll see.
Awesome. Where's the next country that you would like to teach at?
Wow. There are so many, to be honest. I think one that I'm looking out for is definitely Singapore. There's usually a big camp that happens in Singapore, so I'd love to go there. I've been in USA before, um, but I've never been there to like teach or be invited there. So I would like somebody to bring me out to USA as well. And then I might go to Ghana at the end of this year. I've actually never been to another African country outside of SA. So I'm possibly going to be teaching in Ghana as well. So look out for that. So those are some of the places that I'd like to go and visit and teach. Maybe London too. London would be dope as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've been teaching so much, right? But who's that one, or who's those few dancers that you ever dream of like taking their class? Who's that dancer that if they had to have a class and you were in USA or whatever and you're like, yo, I have to be there?
Yeah. Um, Wow, that's crazy. Like a lot of the people that I look up to have actually been blessed to have taken their class already. But I won't mind doing it again. Like Keone Madrid, he knows he's my coach. He's like my big bro.
You take his
Keone
class?
Madrid.
What?
Sorry, yeah, I took his class. I took his class like a couple of times. I took his class in Vegas, and then I also took his class in Germany at Urban Dance Camp as well. And now we're like friends now. We speak quite often, so I really appreciate him in my life. Also, Lal Beniga, big inspiration of mine. Lal Beniga is one of the dancers for Justin Timberlake, and also just a global name on his own. So I'd love to train with him again. Jay Blaze, he directs for Justin Bieber. I'd love to dance with him again. And there's many more. Like I can speak for days. There's many more, but I know I'll see them soon again.
Yes, yes, yeah. You're living some of our dreams here. You're taking those people's class.
Bro, like
Yeah.
yeah,
Anyway, so recently you've done some music videos as well. Talk a bit about the music videos that you've done, and you also did the show. You did choreography for this new movie that came out, and then you've also been doing training for this. What's it? It was a girl group, a girl singing group.
yeah. Yes, 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 yes. So I've been working with the girl band for the last 2 years. They go by the name of 4IM. I'm actually wearing this shirt right now, so 4IM. Yeah, I've been training them for the past 2 years. I'm actually not training them right now, but I've had a good journey with them for the past 2 years. They have grown so much and they are really dope dancers. Um, Music videos, I've done many throughout the years. Some of my favorites, I can't even think right now. All of them were amazing. With the recent movie project, it's called Two Thirds of a Man. It's out at Steakini Core. And I was asked to do the promo video, like the promo trailer video. And then I got some of my studio dancers involved, choreographed something. And yeah, we were just blessed to have an opportunity and, just doing crazy stuff. Also working with more local talent as well. There's a new artist called Dan Shaw. I've done a music video for her as well, and I'm actually busy with a new social media vibe for her as well. So I'm creating something to one of her latest songs. So yeah, those are some of my favorite moments.
I love it, man. Okay, wait, hang on quickly. Okay, I got a notification. We got 10 more minutes. So anyway, we're close to the closing.
Yeah,
Second or third last question that I want to ask. You have been a huge pioneer, I think, especially in this age for dancers, and just shown us what it is that we can do, and there's no limitations at all. Like the world is your oyster. Where do you think the South African dance community is heading to the future? What is coming? What's next for us?
yeah. I think the South African dance community is really, we are a good place. I would say that there's obviously a lot of work to be done still, but I think our community is growing stronger. I think the choreography scene is really pumping. There's new, fresh talent coming up. With the underground battle scene, there's a lot of people doing really good stuff there. A lot of good events. Red Bull has been doing the most in our communities as well. And Black Noise, Eagle the Hood has been holding it down as well. So I would definitely say South Africa is as actually South Africa has been good. There's just been like on and off seasons, as like many other dance communities around the world. But I think right now, a lot of communities and organizations like in Europe and USA and Asia are looking to Cape Town and South Africa and recognizing like the amazing talent here. So I feel like our name is getting out there, you know, like our dance influence and our music influence around the world is pumping. Like my piano is big around the world right now. And I feel like the dance culture is slowly moving in that direction too. So I definitely foresee us within the next years like pumping and being headliners for big things. So that's where I see us going for sure.
Amazing. I want to keep this question until the end because it's something that I can relate to. I mean, even though, okay, guys, I've also been in the game for quite some time. Okay, it's been like 5 years, but people obviously don't see that. Even though people still look at me as a young blood, and I feel
Yeah.
like especially when you are young, you also young, but I mean like I'm younger. I still look like a kid. With me being even younger, people want to take advantage of that fact and look at it as no, you just need more experience, you need a bit more time. But I mean, if you've been doing it, how much more experience do you need? Everyone needs to put food on the table, everybody needs to sustain something for their family. You had a post recently that I can relate to, and I think many people can relate to, where you said the respect that you get overseas from those organizations and that is so different to the respect that you get from brands. I mean, they pay for your flight, they pay for your accommodation, they pay for you to be there. Your people expect you to go to pay for your own transport, make your own way there. You know, sometimes you must do things for free, and then it takes so much time out of your schedule where you could have been doing something else productive for your own career. So, what needs to end? What can organizations do about this, and what can creators do in order to fight this?
That is such a good question, like really such a good question. And I feel like there's so many people that has that same question and that share the same concerns as us. Um, some things that need to change. I'm gonna start like from the very root and I'm gonna say we really need to start realizing value. We gotta realize the value that people, that artists in particular can bring and just invest in our own people. I feel like it's long gone past the stage where it's solely about money and budget. I know a lot of these corporations and brands and companies have money because it's just not being put where it's supposed to be, or maybe they do put it where it's supposed to be, but it's like the other people that is also maybe seen equal within that sphere just doesn't get recognized. And to bring it closer to home, I'm gonna use myself as an example. Like I've I've gone like overseas, obviously, and people have believed in me, in my gift and what I do. And every time I've traveled, it was always like all expenses paid, like flights, hotel, food. I get paid to teach classes. I even get spending allowance and all of that. Now you can easily say, "Oh no, these Europeans and people they have money and whatever." That is not the case. People back home do have money. It's just they just think, it's just easy. It's just that far from around down the road or whatever the case may be. So I feel like value and just people like belittling you, I feel like that needs to stop because like I said in that post that you mentioned, like these overseas companies are always gonna beat others to it. Like and I'm of that mindset and that perspective, like yo, if you're not gonna believe in me, there's other people that do. But then the same people that is at home that see you doing the most and doing other things will say stuff like, nah, these just sell out, these is doing this, this is not doing stuff for the Cape Town community. But yo, like I've been here, but you guys don't see what I have to offer. Or you know what I have to offer, but you just become familiar like with who I am as a person, as a creative, and all of that. So I feel like value, just realizing people's value. Like, I mean, again, I'm using myself as an example, like because I don't want to use anyone else. Like I've been doing a lot. My classes here back at home, it should be sold out every week. That is just like I'm just gonna talk straight right now, and people's gonna catch feelings for it. That's fine. But my classes should be sold out. Like if I can teach overseas and they have like 900 to 1,000 people in my class, why are there 5, 10 people in my class back home? Like my class should be, I shouldn't be begging people to come and train with me. Like you can see me doing the most, you congratulate me now and then, but you don't show up for class. And that goes for many other dope choreographers here in South Africa as well. So many talented people that get slipped on or just not seeing value. So I feel like we gotta start there. We gotta believe in the arts. You gotta believe that dance and comedy and making music is life changing, because I feel like some people still think like, oh, it's just a thing, it's just whatever. They're not willing to spend 50 rand, 100 rand for a class, which in my opinion is not even expensive. They're not willing to invest. They think they're investing into the teacher, but you're actually investing into yourself by paying like 100 rand. Even if a class is 200 rand, you gotta ask yourself, what value am I placing on that 200 rand? What value am I placing on this teacher and on this class? Because it's all about perspective and how you see it. Do you know what I'm saying? So just value, man, value. That's all I can say. You can either see something as expensive and you're not getting everything out of it the way you really want to, or you can actually be like, yo, nah, he's just coming back with knowledge. I'm gonna go take this class, like, because yo, he has something that I don't know or that I maybe can't offer. I want to get those tools. I want to take it back home, refine it, work on it, create my own style, create my own path, create my own avenue, and just blossom from there. Do you know what I'm saying? So that is my perspective on that. And until we realize value, or if we're not gonna do that, we're gonna stay stuck and in the same place where we are right now, and we're gonna complain that people don't want to invest in us. There's no opportunities, there's no this and that. We're always gonna look to the Americans like, oh my word, that's so inspiring. Bro, we have the talent here back at home. Let's put it to work, let's collaborate, let's drop the ego, and let's just do the things, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I have to say about that.
Wow, that was powerful. I'm keeping that part for the promo of this interview. I'm definitely keeping that part. Before we run out of time, we have about 2 minutes. Where can people find you? Where can people find the studio? Where can people get a hold of you? And if you
Yep.
can shorten it to about a minute, what's next for Lyrical Deezy?
What's next for Lyrical Deezy? I would say a lot of on film, on screen type of work. I'm going to be getting involved with a lot of movies. There's a TV show coming up that I'm going to be in as well. Theater stuff. I want to do a lot of theater stuff. I want to go take over Artscape as well. My studio, my classes are going to grow. I'm also organizing my first dance camp here in South Africa, where I'll be bringing international guests in. So there's so much on the cards. And with my social media, you guys can find me at Lyrical DC everywhere: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Subscribe to see new content at Lyrical DC with my studio, Elite Movement Dance Studio, everywhere as well. Yeah, you guys can text me on 084-318-0441 for more information, and that's where you can find me. Wow.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much, DJ. Thank you for everything that you're doing for the dance community, things that you are doing for South Africa, breaking the barriers. And I'm so grateful that
Yes, sir.
get this interview down, man. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for the invitation. I appreciate you and what you're doing with this online platform, and I hope people connect with you and invest in you. Let's go.
Thank you.